Hello and welcome to Script Gym's Goal Setting Workshop. I am Professor Robert Naturman, and I will take you through the steps that will get you to be very clear about what goals you want in all areas of your life, what's prevented you from getting them in the past, and ultimately to succeed at them in the future. The first quote of the day is, "Goals determine what you're going to do." And that was by one of my favorite basketball players of all time, Julius Erving, also known as Dr. J. You'll notice most of the most successful people in the world have at some point in some time, from Confucius to Martin Luther King to Muhammad Ali to whomever, to Eminem, all have set goals for themselves, unreasonable goals for themselves. And despite what many have said, you can't do it, they've gone anywhere and succeeded. So goals are just essentially dreams with a deadline. It's making a plan, deciding what you want, how long it's going to take you to get there, what's prevented you in the past, and why you want to get there, what you will lose if you don't get there, and what are the steps you need to take to get there. Very simple. So let's get started. So as far as goals, really the most important thing is knowing what your goal actually is. I know that sounds very obvious, but a lot of times people have sort of unclear, I kind of want this, I sort of want this. You have to be very clear what your goal is. Know what your destination is. Now, the path to get there is always malleable, is flexible, and you see if the steps aren't working, and then you take a different route, but you know ultimately where you want to get. So what do you want? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? And once you figured out what it is, what you really want to do, then you need a strategy to accomplish it, a plan, a map. Your goals by themselves are not going to get you anywhere until you actually do something and take steps toward it. So ask yourself, have I already achieved some goals? What did you do to get there? Now, every one of you has gotten into one of the top 3 or 4 film schools in the country, Chapman University. And you didn't do that by just saying, you know what, I think I'm going to go to Chapman. There were steps that you had to take. Any negative beliefs, people would say, it's really hard, I don't think you'll get in there, only a few people get in there, but you did anyway, you persisted anyway, and you found what you needed to do. You had to do a portfolio, you knew an end date when you had to get your portfolio in, there was a deadline, and you got here. And ultimately, that, of course, that's not the end of the road, it's merely the beginning, because once you're here, then there are more goals that you have to accomplish. You have to finish. How do you finish? How do you ultimately get through those 2, 3, 4 years to graduate? And then there are more goals beyond there. So it's always a building on the previous one. So again, number 1, know what your goal is. And be very clear, very specific, and be equally clear with the deadline that you want to achieve it, that you hope to achieve it. Number 2, what actions can you take today to start you on your goal? Now, making a goal is one thing, and that's great. But then taking action on it is an entirely different thing. And taking action today is making it real. Today. So maybe something small, maybe an email or a text or going online and doing some research. That begins to make it real. And number 3, write them down. You'd be surprised when you write them down, they become clear and real. And it's something that you can keep going back to. The idea is not to just write your goals and then disappear. You have to revisit those goals maybe every week, certainly every month. Are your steps working? Is it unreasonable at this point? And unreasonable is okay, but are you getting closer to where you want to get to? And again, revisit them. Don't ever forget why you're doing it. So again, that brings us to number 4, notice if it's working. Because you can have an idea and you can take action And ultimately, if you're not objective about it and look at it and say, I'm not really getting closer to where I want to get, then you have to change your steps. Confucius, they've been making goals, people have been goal setting for a really long time. When it's obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Confucius said that. So any of these techniques that I'm using in ScriptGem, from what Plato, combining the creative and the physical, and now goal setting that even Confucius believed in, none of this is new. It's just assimilating all of it to be able to use in your toolbox. And the last, number 5, is to be accountable. And what does that mean? That just means telling people, hey, this is my goal. Hey, I want to get into Chapman. Hey, I want to be a showrunner in 5 years. Go tell your parents, tell your best friend, tell your coworkers, go on social media. We're so afraid of being embarrassed. Well, what if it doesn't happen and they ask me, and how's it going, and what do I say? You hit a certain point in your life where you just don't care anymore. You don't worry about what others think. Others are so worried about you. Ultimately, they don't really care. So you have to take ownership of it. So let's get to the workshop. The first round, there's several rounds. The first round is about what you want. Not about figuring how you're going to get there, when you're going to get there, just simply what do you want. The second round is about how much time you hope you will get there. The third round is critically important. It's the why. Why do you want these things? What do you hope to gain if you get these things? Now this is a very positive thing. And this is the pain pleasure. This is the pleasure part. What will you gain from it? Remember, we do things in life either to avoid pain or gain pleasure. And we'll do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure, but we do some things in this life. Immediate pleasure over potential long-term pain. Which brings us to number 4. The fourth round is, what will you lose if you don't get them, if you don't follow through with your goals? And this usually involves a lot of pain, so people tend to avoid it. It's an emotional thing. And perhaps the last round, the most important round of all, is the 5th round. How? How will you get there? What's your action plan? What are your steps that you need to take you from here to there? So, those are 5 rounds, and there are going to be several categories, which you'll see shortly, and I want you to get ready. I want you to get in proper state of mind. I want you to relax, clear yourself of any distractions, shut your phone off, be open to any possibility. Shut that sensor off, that's stupid, I don't want to do that, I won't ever get that, why even bother? Get that away. Stretch your body, shake your body out. Stretch your face, do some vocal exercises, take some deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay, now I want you to get set. If you need time to shut the video off and then go off and stretch your body and breathe, go ahead, do that. And through this video, if you need to shut it and pause it, please do, and then do the exercise. So, okay, now you take out your laptop, if you haven't already, your pen, notebook, whatever you're going to do to write on, and you're going to let your mind and your inhibitions and those limiting beliefs and thoughts and internal censors go. You're going to write and write for several minutes. Hey, you're writers. This shouldn't be all that difficult. Okay, I want you to give yourself like 3 to 5 minutes with each question. Really think about it and really let your mind go. Okay, and I want you to do it within a place of absolute expectation. You can get practical later. Write as fast as you can, keep writing it down, and it's all going to happen. Okay? So, let's start with round 1. Creative and physical goals. You ready? Set, let's go. Okay, physical goals. Creative goals. You're a creative person. What do you want to create in your life? What kind of scripts do you want to write? What kind of movies do you want to see based on your writing? Do you want to direct? Produce? Do you want to act in your movie or other movies? What actors do you want to be in your movies? Who do you want to collaborate with? What directors or producers do you want to work with? You want to write a book? Several books? Do you want to write a book series? Graphic novel? A short story? Are there any true life or historical stories that you want to write? Who would you like to collaborate with again? Would you like to go back to school maybe? For what? Are there any languages that you want to learn? What else would you like to learn? How do you want to fly a plane? How to fix a car, do home repair, learn how to play an instrument, to surf. When I was a kid, I wanted to read every word of the World Book Encyclopedia, and I did. So I want you to take 3 to 5 minutes, pause the video, and really think about all these questions. The creative and education goals. What do you want to learn, and what creative things do you want to do? So take 3 to 5 minutes, pause the video, and come on back. Welcome back. Did you do it? I hope you did. I hope you did. Okay, number 2. What are your physical goals? What do you want to be physically? Do you want to be thinner? How thin? Do you want to have a lower body fat? Do you want to be shredded? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to be more muscular? Do you want to have more energy and vitality? Do you want to run a marathon, an ultra marathon maybe, a triathlon? What time would you like to break in that? Do you want to run a 10K? Well, that you're going to do. You're going to do that at the end of this semester. How fast do you want to run a mile? Do you want to do yoga or Pilates? I love Pilates. I started doing that. Do you want to join an exercise class? Do you want to do an exercise class like P90X or Insanity? You want to work with a personal trainer? Do you want to hike the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail, which are the 1,000 miles from Mexico to Washington? Do you want to surf in Hawaii? How many push-ups do you want to do? You're going to do 50 at the end of the semester. How many pull-ups? Who has the body that you want to have? Okay. Again, I want you to pause and think about it. Take 3 to 5 minutes. Really let your mind go. And then come on back. Okay. Welcome back. Now I know you went away and now you're back. Good. Okay. Number 3. What are your emotional goals? What kind of person do you want to be emotionally? More confident, more open, less critical? Do you want to be more relaxed? Do you want to handle stress better? Are you depressed? Do you want to be less depressed? Do you want to be more positive? The kind of person who says yes to life, yes to things, not no automatically. What fears would you like to get over? Do you want to be a more encouraging, supportive person to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues? Why? Really think about it. Make a list of your daily emotions. Are there any that you'd like to get rid of? Or conversely, are there any you want to experience more? You want to laugh every day. And you'd be amazed at the variety of emotions that we potentially could have. Angry, annoyed, anxious, ashamed, bitter, comfortable, content, depressed, determined, eager, happy, hopeful, hurt, insecure, irritated, jealous, lonely, motivated, overwhelmed. A lot of people are overwhelmed now. Relieved, resentful, self-conscious, silly, terrified, uncomfortable, joyous. So really think about it. Pause the video and write down emotions that you'd like to have, the kind of person that you want to be emotionally, and come on back in 5 minutes. Okay. Number 4, what are your spiritual and charitable goals? What kind of person do you want to be spiritually? Do you feel a connection with the world? Would you like to, with a higher power? Would you like to meditate? Do you want to go to church, temple, or a mosque? Do you want to spend a week at a silent retreat? Do you want to find inner peace? Do you want to learn to live in alignment with your spiritual values? I did. That's why I became a vegan, including forgiveness, compassion, love for others, gratitude. Do you want to attend a Native American sweat lodge ceremony? Heal your past. Learn to live in the moment. Take up Tai Chi. Spend time in a monastery. Read the Bible. Read the Quran in full. Learn TM. So many things. Join a prayer group. Spend Christmas in Bethlehem. Give up things for Lent. Give up things anyway. Do you want to work with any charities? What charities? For the abused, for children, for animals, dogs, cats, endangered species, the environment, political organizations? Which ones? Do you want to work with human rights? Do you want to work with the arts and education? Do you want to volunteer at a homeless shelter? With the elderly? Do you want to give to charity or start a foundation? What kind? An education fund? Help returning veterans? Do you want to maybe host a fundraiser? Start a charity? So many opportunities. Again, you know the routine right now. Pause the video, take 3 to 5 minutes, really think about it, and then come back when you have a really good list that you're happy with. Okay, you're back. We're almost done. What about your relationship goals? What kind of friends do you want to have? What kind of romantic relationship do you want to have? What kind of friend are you now, and what kind of friend do you want to be? How do you become that kind of friend? What kind of romantic partner do you want to be? How can you become that? What can you do to get closer to the person in your life now that you want to be closer with, a deeper connection with? Do you want to have children? Do you want to have pets? Do you have pets? What's your relationship with them, with your parents? Are there people at work you want to be closer with? Any clubs you'd like to join? Book club or something? Teams? Who'd you like to be friends with? Really think about it. So your relationship, take 3 to 5 minutes. What kind of relationships? Because this is the heart of our lives, the relationships. These are the things, all the other things don't amount to much except for the relationships that you make and the impact you have on people. Okay, take 3 to 5 minutes, come on back. Okay, welcome back. We're on to our last and most fun category, the financial and thing goals. What about these goals? How much money do you want to earn? Where do you want to be financially in 1 month, in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, in 10, 20? Do you want to start your own business? Well, what kind of business? Don't put limits on yourself. Look, who was Jeff Bezos? He started with nothing in his garage. I don't think he ever imagined he would be the richest or second richest man in the world, but he didn't put any limits on to where it would go. Where would you like to live? What would you like to buy? You want to buy a second house, third, a fourth, fifth house, beach house? What kind of car would you like? A new Tesla, a hydrogen car, a Bugatti, an F-150? Where would you like to go on vacation? New Zealand, Antarctica? Those are my two, those are first because those are on my 2 bucket list. Bora Bora, Paris, see the Northern Lights, the Grand Canyon. What kind of clothes would you like to have? What designer would you like to design your clothes? Do you want maybe a private chef, a private concert by your favorite band for your birthday party? Season tickets to your favorite football team, hockey team, basketball team, who cares? All of it. An entertainment, screening room, private gym, jewelry, what kind of jewelry? What restaurant would you like to try? What Michelin-starred restaurant around the world? Maybe would you like to start your own restaurant? This is the fun section. This is the things section. This is where kids, if you were to ask them at Christmas, what do you want? They would just go, 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 no censor. So don't put any limits on it. Worry about it later. How are you going to get there? So take 3 to 5 minutes, pause it, and come on back. Okay, round 1 over. We have just hopefully a really great list of creative education goals, physical goals, emotional, spiritual, charitable, relationship, and thing goals. Now, round 2, it's the when. It's all in the timing. How much time do you need to get there? And for each of your goals, if you wanted to start with the top 3 in each category, for each of those goals, put a time limit on it. You got your list, look at the list, and for each of the items, set a time limit. It could be 1 day to 20 years. Some of them could just be in a call that you've been meaning to make. Some could be, I want to be a showrunner, and that might take more than a day. So if your goal is to earn $100 million, that might not happen tomorrow. Then again, you could win the lottery tomorrow, and that goal is set. So I want you to take at least the top 3 from each category and put a time limit on it when you hope and see these things happening. Okay? Take a few minutes, pause it until you're done, and then come on back. Okay, great. So now you've got your goals and you've got a time limit of when they're going to happen. So we're on to round 3. Why? The why. Why do you want to get these things? What will you gain if you get there? Your motivating factor. And if you don't have strong enough reasons for wanting something, the chances are you will not get the threshold that it'll take to get there, because they're going to be stumbling blocks, I can assure you. If it was all easy, we'd get whatever we wanted right away. And it's also the perseverance to get there. So it takes a lot of effort, determination, and fortitude. And it's breaking your old patterns and creating new positive ones. So that you need a foundation with which underlying it, and that's your why. So look at your list, figure out, you can go over those 3 that you from each of those categories, figure out what you hope to gain from achieving those goals. Take as much time as you need, because I want you to put some powerful emotional reasons to them. If they're strong enough, they will propel you forward in all aspects, and you will not look back. Okay? So pause it, take as much time as you need, really think about them and give an emotional reason why. What will you gain from achieving these things? Okay, pause the video and then come on back. Okay, great. We're almost done. Really almost done. We're on to round 4. What will you lose? This is the pain. We've just done the pleasure of what you'll gain. Now the pain of what will you lose if you don't get those relationships. When you look back 40, 50 years and you look back on your life and none of those things happened, how painful is that going to be? When you don't have children, you don't have the relationships you wanted, and you didn't achieve what you meant to do, you failed at certain aspects in your life. Really go there. There's dark places, but unless you go there, unless you're willing to go to those places and really feel these things emotionally, trust me, it won't resonate. So just knowing why you want something and what you hope to gain is just part of it. It's knowing what we'll lose, and if you don't really go there emotionally, then this won't work. So I want you to think about it. Really allow yourself to be emotional here. Imagine your life if none of these things happened. What will it cost you if you don't achieve it? Working a crappy job for the rest of your life. Something that will make you miserable. So now is your opportunity to change things, to make the life that you want. So take your time, pause the video, and really don't be afraid to go to those darker places of all the things you will lose if you don't get it. At least on those 3 for each category. Okay, take the time, pause the video, and then come on back. Okay, we're back. I know that was a tough one. And this is the last one, I promise you. Okay, we're on round 5. How will you get there? This is your action plan. The steps that you need to take you to get there. Steps you can take each day, each week, each month, building on the day before, just like we do with the workout. It's your map. It's your strategic plan, your action plan. So how will you achieve these goals? Firstly, you want to stick with it. You want to be consistent. Do something like every day. Revisit these goals and continue to work with it. And also be flexible. It's not contradictory. By being flexible, you're willing to acknowledge that some things work and some things don't. And it's like writing a script. You have a plan, you set it up, but then you give room for it to go in its own direction if necessary. So go for those 3. What are the steps that you need to take? Steps you need to take today, steps you need to take in a month that you need to, that can get you to there. So pause the video, really think about it. And like I said, these will change perhaps, but also it gives you a map today of what you can do for the next week, month, year. Okay, so pause it and then come on back. Okay, you are back. Congratulations. You have a set of goals that are going to inspire you, that are going to motivate you to change your life, to bring you the things that you deserve. And it's about designing your own life. You know, life shouldn't be what happens to you. You should be the conductor of your own life. So the fact that you're taking action on it now is, if you don't, it's just an idea. It's just dreams, delusions, fantasies, whatever you want to call it. But by taking action, it's real. Ben Franklin said, well done is better than well said. And I think he knew exactly what he was talking about. So remember, you want to find this goal that's big enough to inspire you, but not defeat you. And you can be, like I said, unreal. You can be people that are unreal, or what accomplish things in this world that change the world. So I want you maybe not change the world, but change your own place in the world, and be happy and be successful. Be the person that you want to be. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it proves useful. Do the exercise, really commit to it, and it will pay enormous dividends. And continue to do it for the rest of your life. Your assignment, before I leave you, is to take 2 actions. 2 actions that you can take today toward those goals. One can be a micro, just looking up something on the internet, and one could be that you actually, all I need to do is call this person that I've been meaning to call, tell them how I feel, I miss them, etc., etc. If you do that, then you've accomplished it, and you can realize, wow, there's a goal that I set, I got a reason why I wanted to do it, I took action, the time limit was now, and you did it. And that will pay dividends for the longer term goals. Okay, thanks for playing along, and we will see you in class.